It was Ford's first win in the race since 1999.
This minute was brought to you by Rolex.
A European city in focus. Metropolitans.
Malmö, Scandinavia's bridge to Europe. It is Sweden's third largest city, with 300,000 inhabitants. About a third of them are immigrants. Malmö's a city in transition from being an industrial centre to a city of knowledge and services. When the dockyards closed just over a decade ago, Malmö started an ambitious project. Launched with a construction exhibition that seeded a housing and office district, Västra Hamnen or Western Harbour is Malmö's model for sustainable development. Swedish-American Joachim Lloyd Raboff's a photographer who lives and works here.
Sweden in general is, when it comes to architecture, very homogeneous. There's not much difference between one town to the other. Malmö went through a very negative period. And when this area was built in 2001, it was an incredible change to how architecture was seen upon. And so this area represents a visual inspiration for not only me, but a lot of people, most people that both live here and work here or visit, that there's an enormous diversity.
His gallery is a few meters away. His wife works at home, and their daughter goes to school in the district, perfect for avoiding car use.
We grew up, my wife and myself, in the 70s when nobody cared about anything of this. Everybody was smoking, and there was no thinking about this. And so it's very exciting for us to be part of this generation, at least. It's taking part of that and developing that.
Food waste is collected for the production of biogas. Solar panels, low-energy houses and self-sustaining passive energy houses are part of the concept of 100% locally renewable energy. The nearby wind turbine supplies the whole area with electricity. The Tuffisons have lived here since the project's beginnings. They don't have a low-energy house, but nevertheless use high-tech to save energy.
Och det här är fjärrvärmeanläggningen.
We try to apply all the facilities for sustainable living that exist here. It feels good when it's so easy to live a green life.
The demand to get a house or flat here is high, but the success of the project has also a downside.
Kanske några fler skolor då?
Yes, the schools. Our son Rasmus goes to kindergarten, that's preschool. There aren't enough nurseries here, so we have to bring him into the town to a preschool there.
And when it comes to the details of daily life, sometimes architecture and aesthetics have the upper hand.
Det är väldigt lite skydd.
There are few protection facilities. For example, at the water ponds in our district, there are no handrails.
Den här kanten som är ner till vattnet till exempel, så såna grejer kan jag tycka.
So you have to look after your children.
Att man måste hålla.
You always have to hold on to them so they don't fall into the water.
The showpiece of Västra Hamnen is the turning torso designed by the architect Santiago Calatrava. Malmö's new landmark with luxurious flats, offices and conference rooms. Food waste goes directly from the skyscraper into biogas production. Västra Hamnen has its snags. The inhabitants use more energy than expected. There's more housing space than originally planned. And you can't force people to save energy. Also, technologies today are much more advanced than just a decade ago.
It is a learning process, so both we and the constructing companies, we have to learn both how to calculate and to build. We have tried a lot of things. Sometimes it went wrong, of course, and sometimes it became a success. But you have to allow yourself to experiment. Otherwise, you won't have any good things coming out of it.
Malmö's Rosengård district's also getting a green touch now. The buildings, built in the 1960s and 70s in a huge housing programme, needed renovation, and its mainly immigrant population needed integration. The city and the Hilda Housing Cooperative combine sustainability measures. Walls are being newly insulated, and the old plumbing's being changed. Food waste pipes are being added, and rainwater is collected for the toilets. But it's not only about refurbishment. The inhabitants are also encouraged to participate in the rebirth of their district.
For Hilda, it's a need for renovating the buildings. For the city as a whole, it's a wish to be self-sustained with the renewable energy by 2030. And for the residents, it's twofold. One is to be able to participate in the development of the city. And another one is that if we are able to change the physical environment and upgrade it, people will be more proud of their neighborhood. And I think we're going to be able to change, for instance, the media image of Rosengård, which is quite bad for the moment, and also make people who live here want to stay here and be proud of the neighborhood.
Not everyone living here will be lucky enough to have their homes renovated. It depends on the owners. Part of the programme is also a youth project to create new and nicer public spaces, currently dominated by men. The project especially targets girls and young women. They're encouraged to come out of the shadows and organise public events and collect ideas on how to relook their neighbourhood.
We in the group represent the young people, and we try to be the ones with the motivating ideas, and we don't want to just watch while everyone else takes the decisions and make things happen, but we want to be a part of it. I try to change things so that we girls and we young people can take more place, and so we can change our everyday living and we can make it good.
Orange, the cyclist's colour. To encourage sustainable transport, Malmö offers more than a good cycle lane network. It distributes seat protectors and helmets and provides air pumps and shower facilities. But how to convince people in cold, windy weather?
The winters aren't normally so harsh, so we don't get a lot of snow. There's maybe about 9 times of the year, 9 days during 365 days. The biggest problem, I think, is the darkness. And in September every year we have a campaign where we hand out vests, reflect vests, and encourage people to wear them.
The campaign slogan, "No ridiculous car trips," has worked. The amount of short car journeys of under 5 kilometres has declined.
About a quarter of our citizens use their bikes to work and to school every day, so we're quite happy about that number, and we will one day hopefully raise it to about 60%, then we'd be extremely happy. So we're doing the best that we can, but of course we have quite a long way to go, but we'll get there.
Malmö putting its own twist on the 21st century.
This summit is organised by the European Union Committee of the Regions.